we're starting now. Session 2 of The Damned. It's been a couple weeks since we've played. So, like always, we need to do our... let's get our initiative... let's get our initiative rolled first. So, 1d10 plus your initiative value. Everyone's dice are now in dice trays. Gosh, it's going to be nice for the recording. Every time I hear a dice roll, I'm like, that sound is so high when I'm mastering the video.
I got to 0.
That is really good.
It's a 10.
I got to 10.
Hey, so it's 10 plus your initiative value on your on your character sheet.
18.
Wow.
Nice.
Boom.
I am 17s. 2s. Clovis. 17s.
Espilicent.
Espilsent is how I was. Espilsent.
14.
Pipistrella, Clovis, and Thomas. Yeah, Espilsent. I actually spelled it out phonetically.
Did you? Okay.
On my cheat cards.
I was just making stuff up.
I keep cheat cards for everybody's character.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's one thing I love this game.
Nope. 4.
Okay. Yeah. Anytime you have matches, you can look at your perception bonus, or you can just decide who's going to go first. I have no initiative rolled as of right now. So next, we need to determine the number of fortune points in your pool. So everybody roll a 1d6 chaos die. If it lands on 6, it's mine. If it lands on any other number, it's yours.
It's ours.
I got a 2.
I got a 4.
Oh, gosh. So you guys start with 1, you all start with 4.
Sweet.
So I have an idea for tonight, specifically for Paige.
Okay.
I think as opposed to using the 10s and the 1s die, I think you should use 2 1s dice to roll, declaring which is going to be the high and which is the low. So as an example, if you had 2 dice, that would tell you like, this is my high die. So if you roll them together, you'd be like, I rolled a 37.
Okay. Yeah, which I brought mine, so...
Yeah. It's entirely up to you. It's your choice.
So like these
No,
2.
you would use your
Wait.
1s dice. So you would use like...
I would always forget.
Yeah.
If you always assume that's your high,
Let's go ahead.
and this is
I
your
never
low,
would do that.
so go ahead and roll those together.
I have enough shit to remember.
84.
Yeah.
The only time it works is if you roll.
In my mind, it's easier to read than a percentile dice. It's funny because I was going through this same exercise when I'm working on this new game, and I'm like, it actually seems more intuitive to use 2 10-sided dice as opposed to but however you wish to do it. It's entirely up to you.
I like
You all
that
can
because
do what
I'm
you want.
confused easily.
Yeah.
We should all get D100s.
That's right.
They're,
I have
balls.
my D100.
they're terrible dice.
Yes,
I know. It's lovely and heavy.
This one was sent to me by a friend on Twitter, and it weighs like 1 billion pounds. Not a billion, but it literally weighs like 2 pounds. It's made of like solid metal. It's more decorative than actually useful.
It's very impractical.
Because of this golf ball as little golf ball divots.
Mm-hmm.
So we got fortune done. We have our initiative rolled. It's obviously been a couple weeks because we are playing every other week. But let's actually talk about last session. So I'll set us up. So we know where we left off, where we began last time. We began in a temple in Galleon. Do you recall why you came here?
To steal
Prizes.
relics.
Prizes.
Or not relics, but
relics.
remnants.
Sacred remnants. That's right.
Remnants, the same thing. Yeah.
And each of you had your own individual reasons for doing so. Right? What did you discover while you were here?
The place has been abandoned for quite some time, and
Are we sure about that?
Well, there's some big scary dudes that came to life or unlife,
well, yeah, like
and they were talking about Mother a lot.
yeah, different kind of abandoned, but like it hadn't been inhabited by like regular folk
Yeah,
in a while.
that's right.
People
And in
weren't
fact-
using the temple to worship.
Yeah, one person tried to escape out a window and was gone for so long that when they passed away over that window, the top half rotted off.
If you recall, the very beginning of the session, there was a horn that was blown when you were down in the crypts.
Oh yeah.
Because the paladin is back, right? Or what's his name?
The brass paladin.
Brass paladin.
Yeah.
Who protects these
Sacred remnants, that's right.
Remnants.
Yeah, sacred remnants.
Don't want to share any.
Remnants of the faith.
He doesn't want to share with anyone. He's greedy.
Galleon is called the Godless Lands. After the Red Death came and the Accord was sundered between the Covenant faith and the Mercator dynasty, all fell apart. And now the damned, who are those who they didn't survive the Red Death, but they weren't taken by it either. They were inside this temple hold, and you kind of came into a large chamber that was partially collapsed. There is clearly like a chamber of worship at some point, and it had collapsed inward, and that's when you found the damned kind of watching the pillars, so you suspected, but then there was a loud noise because the only way out of this place was a set of double doors that probably leads out into the rest of the temple. And when the loud noise was heard is when they all kind of came to unlife, the damned, or these husks, if you will, as the colloquial term is for these specific things.
They're called husk.
Husks.
A husk of a person.
That's right, remnants of the people. And in fact, husks, to contextualize this, husks still possess, although their soul has passed on, their spirit still remains, the thing that gives everyone locomotion. And in fact, in the bodies of these husks, kind of fastened in a way, kind of within the strange musculature, because they are fleshless things. They are not rotting, they're fleshless. They look like those anatomical drawings. In the middle of all of that, like between the viscera and the muscles and the knotted cords, there are these things called calcified soma, which are valuable. And that is supposed to be the remnant of the spirit that was left behind, the thing that you all possess. But theirs is calcified heart, what was in what would be the heart,
So
that is turned to stone.
So, like the everlasting gobstoppers.
Yeah.
Nice.
So these husks, and you all know this because you have survived the Red Death. You know that the husks, or the damned in general, all possess this, what is called by a man from the place where you're from, Bastion. A man named Simon the Small has come to call them calcified soma. Soma being an ancient old world word for literally a spirit. You stand among these the damned that you have dispatched to hopefully the Well of Souls. You don't really know. No one really knows what happens when the damned are brought to heel. But you're standing there in your own sweat and blood and breath, as you have survived this onslaught.
Oh my God!
That's-
oh my lords! I am so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
I didn't know what I was doing, and I pushed all of them into you.
Is that why they jumped all over us?
Yes, it was my fault.
Are you a witch?
No. No, I'm an auspex.
Is that a fancy word for witch?
Could be.
This wouldn't be too surprising to hear from your perspective, Pipistrella.
Yeah.
Given that the people of Galleon, in the wake of the Red Death, have a deep, intense mistrust of priests and sorcerers.
No, it's difficult to explain. You'll just have to trust me.
That's exactly what a witch would say.
Everyone's got to find a way to survive their own way.
Well, do we take those crystallized, what did he call them? Crystallized heart?
I don't think that would be a good idea.
he said they're valuable.
Grab them.
Do you want to eat?
I
I'll get my misery cord out and start cutting them off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grab them.
I think that the dead should keep their belongings.
Aspillicent is already elbow deep, as
Wait,
is
no.
Clovis,
Their
as they
souls
begin
have
to.
departed. It's just the corpse.
She feebly tries to convince you all, but just doesn't do it. Wait, no, don't.
You all know. You all know.
Stop,
even
stop.
though
Go ahead.
even though faith has kind of waned in Galleon, you all know that people are comprised of. The corporeal body is comprised of 4 things. 5 things, sorry. There is you know that people, yourselves, the corporeal being is comprised of a myriad of parts. You are composed of flesh, you are composed of blood, you breathe the life of the ether in the air and expel it from your insides. Your soma, as they call it, a collective word for organs. And you also have a spirit. And all this is fueled like an engine by the 4 humors. Bile, blood, phlegm.
Soul?
Yes, and the soul. The soul is that which passes beyond, but in the case of the damned, although their spirit is passed to what end, nobody knows, but the spirit remains behind, that which gives you locomotion. And you are kind of pulling the calcified soma forth from these 6 husks. So whoever is going to track inventory may write down 6 calcified soma.
Your
Inventory goes.
It's trappings and
Trapping is okay. Done. So 6 calcified
Soma.
somas.
My recommendation on all of your character sheets is to write down under trappings calcified soma and mark it 0, dude, unless you have some.
Oh.
I'll take them all.
One thing I've learned as a bailiff,
Here's your pencil.
there's 2 things that are certain in life: death,
For what?
taxes.
Write something down.
We're
I did-
gonna take our
No, can I?
taxes
Oh.
from these dead men.
I missed the can.
If they're valuable, they're valuable.
They're not using them.
You know that Simon the Small will find value for them. He is the would-be leader of
Dead.
Bastion.
It's theirs. It's
Mine.
a part of them.
Mine.
Just because we killed them doesn't mean that.
They weren't alive. You
Everyone-
can't kill something that's already dead.
Everyone was paid.
So, I'm watching you, Witch. Just, you're gonna stay with us, just come along with it. You're gonna, pretty much it. You want to eat, or you want to die?
Well,
I'm just gonna go with you want to eat. So, we're taking those, we'll earn money, and then we'll be able to feed ourselves.
I did want to die, but the custodian said no.
So follow his will.
Her.
Or will, sorry. I would have known that.
It's fine. Just go sit down over there and wait. You'll die soon.
Oh, I can't now.
Well, then,
I can't now. I was told not to. I have a purpose.
well, you know what's required to make purposes happen? Food.
Bastion is a very small caravan, a collection of a handful of people, including yourselves. Regardless of your doings here, you have recovered the sacred remnants for yourselves for your own reasons, and you must get back to Bastion. You must return home.
We heard the horn too. We need to get out of here.
These large double doors, where you had opened one of them, which alerted the husks before, stands ajar. And beyond that, you can see candlelight, deep red candlelight coming from beyond. You
So
hear
there's further into the building, this door, or is it outside?
Well, it's funny. it seems like when you came down into the crypts, like the memory of how you got down here came untangled. In fact, these strange phenomena have occurred all over Galleon. Loss in memory, strange things happen. The passage of time you can't quite remember. Galleon is not the world you remember it to be. Imagine a land that is not governed by gods. That is what Galleon is. So the laws that we as people may perceive as being reality, your characters are kind of undergoing a paradox, a change in their reality. And to that end, you don't recall your travail into here. You just simply remember awakening in the crypt with a purpose, to retrieve the sacred remnants and bring them back to Bastion. The only name that you can even recall from Bastion, from where you all collectively live, is a man named Simon the Small. He is a leader of sort.
Let's go.
She's right. Oh wait, they were right. Sorry.
I'm a Moy.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. This is the only way. They were right. We must go.
Mm-hmm.
Who will lead the way?
Pipistrella will step forward.
So do you have the light?
I do now.
Somebody.
Yeah, I did.
Somebody had my
Yeah,
light.
I had a lamp.
You sure do. You have the lantern. We will never forget who has the lantern for now.
Yes.
So anytime, depending on who is carrying the lantern, we will pass that around the table. And if we have 2 lanterns, I have another one over here too.
I love props.
Yeah, we've got the lantern over here. Oh, see, wait, no. Yep, I'm the one with the lantern.
It's also flickering.
Yep,
This was like the best $15 on Amazon I've ever spent.
That's pretty cool.
And
So-
you know that
Props.
shit's going out for Halloween too, right?
Props are so fun. Oh yeah, can we
Yeah,
can we all be our characters for Halloween?
should.
Okay.
I'm dressing like the dungeon master from Welcome to the Realms of Dungeons and Dragons. They have a costume apparently. So you lead the way and you emerge into what is clearly the worship chamber. You've actually emerged from behind the nave, behind the altar where the priests would be, and you come out into this massive vaulted chamber filled with old wooden pews that line the myriad of rows, not terminating at an altar at the far end. You are in fact behind the altar itself as you turn around and you behold the graven image of the covenant, the 3 gods, the steward, the learner, and the martyr.
Okay.
And as you turn back toward the main worship chamber, the damned line the pews. Sitting in the pews, some are kind of weaving back and forth with their hands permanently clasped together, as if in worship. Others are up on the mercy seat, holding their hands above, as if worshiping before the ancient graven images. Cobwebs span every corner here. This place is covered in a layer of dust.
Are they saying their craziness again?
You don't hear any words coming out of their mouths.
How many?
30 at least. They line the pews. Men, women, and children, the damned, condemned to this wretched existence.
Pipistrella just turns around because she's first, and she holds her finger up to her mouth to signify to be quiet. And then she'll, like, kind of try and stay close to the wall and not draw any attention.
Do you all want to follow in line with Pipistrella?
They don't like noise, so let's take our time.
You all
Go
pad
slowly.
Yeah.
ever so slowly. One false step or loud noise could easily upset all of the damned and could set them all upon you. I need everyone to make an easy stealth test now before you roll. just know this is a fail forward test. This is a stressful situation. If you fail the roll, you will gain some peril. If you critically fail it, you have made enough noise to alert all the husks inside.
All right.
What am I rolling?
It's an easy stealth test.
Time for me to shine, Tim.
Which
Stealth.
dice?
So Adam?
It's
What
5
was
up
it?
from the bottom.
What was the difficulty? I'm
Agility.
sorry.
Easy.
Ooh, 98.
Success.
Critical. I thought
So
it would.
please help Paige.
Wait, I have a
Um,
96.
All right. So
Just see what this is? Go like this.
yeah.
Sorry,
so,
guys. Sorry.
Pretty
If
sure
you
you
look
don't
for
have that good of a stat.
Do you have a dot next to it?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a skill rank in it, and if you add
Just
10,
57
yeah,
is
so-
my stealth.
right, and so easy. There should be a difficulty rating. Yeah,
20.
So that's plus 20, so that would be 77, right?
Uh-huh.
And so you rolled a 96, which is above 77.
So I failed.
So that's failure.
So I tripped and made a noise.
No.
Well, no. It fell forward. That's the difference.
Yeah, so whenever I call a fail forward test, that means even if you fail the test, you still manage to make it through the situation. However, it is so tense that anyone who fails will suffer peril
Gotcha.
as a result. And that peril you will suffer is 5 mental peril.
So, like, you catch yourself before you actually stumble.
That's right.
But I'm
you
stressed
suffered,
about
You're
it.
Yeah.
so stressed that you're,
So,
So-
Adam, please help Paige, if you would, once
Alright,
again.
how much
So,
was that?
5 mental peril.
5 mental peril. All right, so check your peril threshold.
8.
What's that number? 8. It's less than that number, so you're fine.
Okay.
no.
My claw fingers went into Zen mode. I tried to namaste. Okay.
So you hold your breath and you begin to creep along the edges of the pews. The pews, just like at any church you've been through, like almost run to the wall. I mean, it's a very narrow passageway on either side. So you find yourselves walking with just an arm's reach away from the damned.
Ugh.
You come to the far distant end of the worship chamber, and you can see this massive vaulted archway, 3 of them in fact, each of them decorated very differently, perhaps each in reverence to the covenant gods who in Galleon are dead. But those 3 archways lead into the next chamber where you can hear the trickling of water.
So is there a damned leading the worship? This is macabre worship.
So,
Good question. So let me answer his question first. So as you turn around and you're now looking down the pews toward the altar and the 3 huge statues of the covenant graven into the stone where you came out of, there is no priest to be found who would lead the congregation. They seem stuck in perpetual worship of these dead gods. Sorry, you were going to ask him.
yeah, as soon as we pass through the doorway, I'm going to wait till everybody passes through, and then I'm going to hold my hand up and I'm going to take out some salt and start pouring it on the ground in the doorway, as I'm going to attempt to cast beyond the pale.
Okay. It's going to be a routine test.
Okay, routine. That'll be incantation for me, and that's willpower, so I am trained in it.
Okay, so can you give us? I don't know what that is.
What? Yeah. Routine.
We'll find out.
We'll
when
find
he
out what
rolls.
happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 66, and you said routine 76.
Give us some reads, man.
So 24 is a success.
Explain to us what happens first, then tell us the effect.
Right. So I take out this salt and I start to pour it on the ground in an even line, and I'm like, and I like say back away, because it's just salt on the ground.
You're
It's
signing back away. Patrons back away. And sign.
That's it. Yeah.
not,
To us. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I was right accidentally, so I just
Yeah.
do that.
Well done.
What happens is I draw a 3-yard line upon the ground, and unless they successfully resist with the resolve test, No creature classified as being supernatural can cross it. I'm just guessing that they are. And if they do, they suffer 1d10 plus willpower bonus and damage,
Nice.
whether successfully resisted it or not.
You have managed to protect but one of the vaulted archways, for there are 3, and they're about 2.5 yards ish wide each.
Yeah.
They're meant for a congregation. You imagine that a person on horseback in full regalia armor and with polearm could pass beneath these arches. So the rotten grandeur of this place, so large as it is, you managed to hedge off one of the vaults, but
So are we are now kind of in the archway, in kind of going into this other
yeah,
chamber,
it's a big chamber.
looking down at these big things.
Yeah, you're kind of looking down the pews, like as if you were walking into a church. You're kind of looking down. You could see the.
Is there anything else on the walls?
You can see shattered.
Like glass, like the same
Yeah,
guy
shattered.
that the guy was.
That's right. Yeah, it's just shattered stained glass. Because it is a vaulted chamber, there's these kind of flying buttresses on the inside, hewn of rough stone. Large brass candelabras burning with 100 candles, all flickering and seemingly never-ending cycle.
Eternal flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I need it to 0. I just spotted that. Sweet. Thanks.
As you turn around and look behind you, in the chamber behind you where you heard the water, this is not exposed to the elements outside, but instead, it is this this entrance chamber, and you can see this massive pool that runs almost wall to wall, kind of in a rectangular fashion, and it's surrounded by these kind of stumpy-looking pillars, and each of the pillars tell a different story. The water is dark and still. The light of the candles do not extend into here, but Cabistrella's lamp does. Lantern, sorry.
Yeah, so
Perhaps we should.
It's like a reflecting pool, but
We
it's
should.
You said you could see, like, there's stories, like, engraved into them? Can the
Perhaps we
lamp,
should take-
does the lamp illuminate it
faintly
well enough?
from where you're at. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in fleeting shadows.
Perhaps we should take the time to fully seal this chamber. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
them coming. I wouldn't want to make too much of a noise or have some ruckus. Whatever is up ahead, I have no idea. But whatever it is, I don't want them coming through.
true, but if I do that, that'll be all of the salt I have.
I think it's worth it. There's so many of them.
We
We'll be
may-
overrun.
Do you not think we may need another doorway? I'm willing to do it if you're willing to risk it.
I don't know. I don't know. But I think we should risk it.
What do you think?
I don't even know what the hell just happened.
He's trying to
It
seal.
seems
He's
like
trying to.
wasting good salt on.
She. Like she like looks a little bit offended. She says she.
Should I say?
I don't know what I said.
I don't know what I said. Sorry. Either way, she
Just call her witch, and we'll be good.
she blocked off this doorway from
Yeah, that's
the
not
monsters.
It's true.
Witch is offensive, but you do magic. You just confuse me.
Auspex.
Whatever. You guys make the decision.
All right. Well,
So you agree with this plan? All right.
You're playing with salt.
Yeah, and I use the rest of my salt. I'll try and cast it 2 more times.
To block off the other.
Yes, the other 2 doors.
Block off the other 2 doors. Okay, so your next casting will be routine.
Okay. That was a 76. And a 26 will succeed, so
Nice.
that's the first one, the second one. And
there.
third one, same thing.
Yes.
Okay, 76. And a 33 is a crit success on that door.
Which means
And on a critical success, as above but triple the duration. So that one's going to last for 24 hours, whereas the other ones are 8.
Nice. So as the salt is laying down, you don't see any weaving. You don't see any interweavings of magic. There's basically that you can see that Pipistrella is basically conducting a small ritual, and literally pours salt on the ground and tells you what is happening.
Yes, if anything is an abomination to the custodian, it will either not be able to cross, or the custodian will attempt to take them back.
Well,
You can hear the calcified soma rattling around inside Aspillicent's
Custodian's got
sack,
the
and you are
Galleon.
confident that you could easily crush one of those to turn it into salt.
Oh, fun. Okay. Yeah. On that last doorway, like I held the salt in hand, and then I just held R1 a little bit longer to go to fully charge.
Boom!
Yeah.
Fully charged. Praise the custodian.
I'm interested in the stories on the pillars.
Would you like to take your own lantern?
I have a mask of fear.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
Swear to me!
Yeah.
Mask of fear.
Pipistrella walks over to one of the pillars with you and brings the lantern.
Yeah.
There, the pillars. This temple, the stories that are kind of, they're not written, but they're carved. They're illustrative stories. So you can see as you kind of follow the pillars, they kind of begin on the opposite side, and you follow this story. And the story is of this plain-looking person who literally comes off the plowshare, and you see the person, you're following the pillars, and it tells the story. And the person from the plowshare has traded their farmer's clothing for the trappings of a monk, like a rough spun wool, and it has given themselves a tonsure, and they're walking among villages and are barefoot. And you can see that this monk eventually picks up first the quarterstaff, and then the sickle, and eventually the sword, as the monk's life continues until he is turned to a knight. There is a ceremony where he's being knighted by somebody who you don't recognize, but wears the crown of someone of perhaps a regent not of here, just based on the shape of the person's face and the crown size. And this person continues onward until they are given a blade that is clearly very, very valuable, that is taken from a crypt. And this story continues as the swordsman, the monk who's now a knight, has continued his journey until he finds himself at this tall castle keep. And outside the keep, beyond the keep, is a massive thicket of sharpened wood, like the teeth. The story ends there.
Okay. Yep. Let's go.
You pass through, leaving the sacred pool behind, and that's when you begin to feel cold air on your face from outside.
So since you're a Ciabra and probably are used to reading people a lot more than listening to people, I'll just tell you, you can tell that Pipistrella was bothered by that story, that she didn't say anything and she tried to hide it.
Okay.
You emerge outside the chapel, and all around you, you can see these tall, soaring pine trees, and all around this chapel, and they are covered in ash, as is the ground around you. You know that the season of Midden is upon you, the season of ash. The season of Midden is Midden, as it's called. In the season of ash, it is said that the ashes of the dead from the capital city of Ghent reigns over all of Galleon. In place of snow, there is now ash. this is a damned place where the gods do not live.
In 95.
Yeah. I pulled the handkerchief out.
Yeah. Ash is not falling from the sky, but it's on the ground. It's dusting.
Oh, okay.
It's dusting the edges of the trees and such. It is literally like cinder. Like it's not. It's not hot,
Right.
but it is ash in that sense.
Do we see anything other than trees?
Well, your memory begins to untangle for a mere moment, and you know that you had come here by boat.
Okay.
You had come to this chapel where the brass knight reigns.
How bright is it?
It's pretty dim. It's about, you imagine it's dusk.
Okay.
There is a sun beyond the ashen sky that is more the color of urine than it is pale yellow or pink. The light is dim, and it kind of stretches across the landscape beyond where you can see. You've no more need of your lantern, so you may save your light. I just turned off your lamp.
Nice.
I've got a remote right here for
Nice.
lamps.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you're kind of and it's very evident that this chapel is on a small island.
Let's look for a boat.
The-
Do we feel like there's any kind of voodoo or any kind of scary looming presence anywhere near us, or is it just vacant, just trees?
Good question. Go ahead and roll a challenging awareness test.
Okay,
So your skills
Awareness?
are always alphabetical. Yep.
got it. I don't have the skill rank for that.
Okay.
So,
So I roll these two.
right. So what's this? What's the attribute?
Perception.
Okay, and then challenging should be down there. Yep. So it would be whatever that score is minus 10%.
So 40%.
That's your chance.
Mm-hmm.
45.
It's a fail.
Well,
You're kind of pausing for a moment and taking in your surroundings, and you're not really sure what to expect out there. Now, keep in mind, if you are dead set on trying to succeed this test, you can always spend a fortune token to re-roll, but that fortune token then becomes mine to use.
You can do whatever you want. That's the table rule.
Yeah,
I support
I
your
never
decision.
asked.
I'm curious.
I will take them. It now becomes a misfortune,
If I want to, I'll take it.
which I can use for the same abilities.
91.
Oh.
Cool. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
It's okay.
So nothing that you can really detect, but this is a strange place. That's the thing that you definitely know.
I still feel about it.
You don't see a boat?
I don't see a boat.
Not immediately from where you're at.
Do you see a boat?
Mm-mm. You know, we could.
We'll look for a boat.
We have a 50-50 chance if we just go in one direction.
I seem to recall this was
Along
an
the shore.
island. We just get to the shoreline and then start making our way around.
Mm-hmm.
It's evident as you're kind of standing in front of this chapel that you can see that there's all this ground pebble and rock that winds its way up to the chapel from the edge of the shore. And you look down the shoreline, you can see,
A dog.
yes, you can see a dock, and there's also kind of tall torch sconces that line the way, but the torches have been extinguished. As you begin to walk down toward the docks, you notice that as you kind of look back toward the chapel, it is clearly an old chapel of the Covenant. You know that in the wake of the Red Death, many of these temples were taken down by the people. The survivors of the Red Death struck down every temple they could find and repurposed the stone. This one has been yet untouched, perhaps because the brass knight is its keeper. But the sacred remnants have been taken.
Oh, just a couple.
Yeah, just a couple.
We left from
A
behind.
couple few.
That's right. You come down toward the docks, and you can see a very shallow bellied boat. In Toma, there is this kind of spark of inspiration. This is your boat.
Wait, what's Toma again?
Bailiff?
You're
Yes.
Toma.
Yes.
Okay. Just forgot your name.
Tama, what was the
Sorry.
name of your boat?
The name of my boat? What kind of boat is it?
It's a broad-bellied rowboat, big enough to fit probably 10 people.
Okay. I think I would call it the Stream Cutter.
Okay, taking a quick note. The stream cutter is there. What color is it?
It's a faded light blue. Paint's chipped a bit over time. Waterborne.
We all board the boat and begin rowing.
I'm getting in.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Pipistrella gets in the boat.
I'm in the boat.
She doesn't start rowing though.
Well, it's my boat.
We just came
I'm gonna
across
row.
water, Tim.
Do you need to lay down in the bottom?
No, I don't. And you see her like fidgeting with the wimple. Like it's a different one too. Like it. She was wearing a wimple before that, but this is one of the artifacts. She put it on and she's like fidgeting with it. Like
What is this again?
it's a wimple. It's what a nun wears.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gidget. No, Gidget, the flying
Did you?
nun.
Yeah.
Nope, not that one.
That's just the wrap around the
it's
face.
the plain one, yeah.
Yeah. If you ever seen the oil of Olay symbol of the woman doing this, it's like the old oil of Olay symbol. I think just showed like you only see the smoothness of her face, but you don't see the hair, you don't see the ears, you see nothing. Otherwise, she is wearing the regalia of a priestess. Pipistrella is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all gray.
It's all gray.
Like the ash of the sky.
Yeah.
I'll get on the other side of the row.
Thank you for rowing.
As you begin to row away on this rivulet,
Rivulet.
yeah, it's the river is kind of dried up somewhere further beyond the Aquitaine River, as it's called, and this is a branch off that. This temple was clearly very deep in the wilderness, and as you're kind of as you're kind of rowing in the water, there's nobody on the shore. There's old abandoned water mills. There's overturned fishing boats. The trees have begun to grow back since being hewn away by whatever settlers used to live here. Whatever village this used to be, you don't know its name.
It's very pretty, as she's like referring to the ash.
It's softly falling from the sky at this point.
Is there like
Yeah.
thicker ash falling in one place versus another?
Imagine like a very light snow. That is kind of what it's like. By the time it reaches the ground, it's almost turned to dust. Imagine like snow on a very warm day.
So I was trying to think if it was.
So the ash does not stay intact, but when it hits the ground, it kind of turns to dust.
Okay. Because I thought maybe if it was thicker in one area, we could row towards where it was.
No, it's literally like it's literally snowing ash. To be
Okay.
100% clear, it is like
Okay.
ash and snow.
So once
Yeah.
we start rowing, do we just like kind of know where to go?
The river only goes one way, and it does seem that you're going downriver.
Okay.
Well, a strange turn of fortune.
Let's row faster. See where we go.
The current of the river affords you the ability to not have to worry too much about tiring yourselves out. You suspect if you keep rowing until dawn, you will make it back to Bastion. If you row all night, unless you want to go by the riverside and rest for the evening.
Nope. Let's get back to the walls.
Yeah, let's
We
row.
don't have to rush, but we'll keep moving.
Agreed.
Yeah, I like that.
I've never been in a fight before.
You were in a fight just earlier today.
Before today.
Oh.
I've never been in a fight before.
You did well.
Well, not one that mattered. I've been in a scuffle, but not one that was beyond fists.
I wouldn't go as far to say well. But you were there.
She survived.
And you lived.
What kind of scuffle?
Good scuffle in my book. A fight.
Someone who was too busy with their hands.
Huh. Really?
Yes.
Scuffle. I'm instantly unnerved by that. She made it very clear that it was someone that's busy with their hands. And I use my hands to communicate.
Right. She doesn't pick up on that, and she doesn't clarify.
Okay. And I'm kind of like,
It's obvious she is oblivious.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, as you're rowing down the river, and it almost feels a bit like a dream. You all know one another much better than you initially had thought. Like, there's something between the four of you haven't quite put your finger on. These are just kind of internal thoughts, internal monologue that has brought you together for some purpose, but you don't remember what and you don't remember why. You just know that you all, like a handful of others, survived the Red Death. You were not killed, you're not cursed to become the damned, but you are four of a handful of other survivors back in Bastion. But the name Simon the Small is known by all of you.
I know Simon.
That's right.
And we're just clustering together for survival, basically, at this point.
Yeah.
We don't know what's out there or what's happening.
Whatever became from us before. I mean, we're here together now. If we had old grudges between us, forgotten. I see this as a good thing, a way to start again. Maybe we had it good, maybe we had it bad, but now we don't need to hold ill will toward each other.
It's pretty hard to say that. I mean, everyone hated you.
That's why I suggested it.
I mean,
honestly, even if you, whatever you said you were,
one aspect.
the tax collectors hate more than witches, so, I mean...
Yes, but I mean, we all, like...
Yeah?
We always at least were able to benefit from what the taxes provided. She, like, she's trying to say something positive, but it's
not
it's
You don't need to coat it in honey. I know what I did.
Job's a job.
I suppose they didn't pay you enough in order to keep you from taking any extra.
Let's put these days behind us.
Wow. I wouldn't even have said that.
You all know that of Thomas, you all know that he was once a middling politician of the Mercator dynasty. And now that the dynasty has fallen in just a few short years, and that Galleon, you're not really certain of the rest of its fate. You know that's splintered. You know that's probably split into fiefdoms. But for all intent and purposes, Master Laurence, Monsieur Laurence, master or maiden, whoever he served, is dead. That's a real maidenless behavior, Thomas Laurent. That his master is long gone. Long gone. And I think we'd established before, too, that Clovis, as well, was once someone of repute. Did Clovis ever earn his spurs?
No. I was a watchman.
Watchman, okay.
But obviously I wasn't above taking graft either.
Yeah.
That's why I wouldn't have said anything.
So, Espillicent, like, tell us something about your character that they have kind of a realization about, you know, on this journey on the river.
Well, my upbringing is aristocrat, So I feel like there's something that has to do with maybe some kind of money exchange. I have no idea. I don't know.
Maybe it will come to you in time.
Yeah.
As for Pipistrella, never have you felt closer to the custodian until now, until these days, until after the Red Death came. Never has she been so prominent in anyone's lives until after the disease had washed across the land. The gods may be dead, but the custodian welcomes all into her open embrace. You pass down this river that it begins to, it's like, yes, you know this tributary. It's a tributary called the Naxos. You recognize this river.
At least it's starting to look familiar.
Yeah, I think I have seen this before. She, like, grunts and is frustrated with it and pats it down. And
Does it have fleas?
have you ever worn one? As she holds up her old one.
No. No, can't say that my family was ever religious.
Well, I don't.
Even before the fall.
You figure it would be something you'd get used to, but I don't think I have.
Does it bring you closer to her? Because that seems like a martyr thing. Suffering.
Well, supposedly this is Venetia's wimple, which she was a servant of the martyr. But I can say that I am closer to the custodian than I ever have been before.
I keep saying.
But if you'd like to know something from her, I'll have to go to sleep first.
I think she needs to start working a little harder here in Galleon.
That is true.
Who are we to judge the
back-
comings and goings of the gods?
Well,
Well,
they're gone.
the gods have instruments, and I am one of them.
Aren't we all?
Me?
Well, yes, we all can be instruments, but I have been given a gift, and I feel like you all
Witchcraft.
may already know that. Maybe you could call it godcraft.
I think you should call it nothing out of this side of this group.
Well,
Unless you want to get hung and set on fire.
you know, I don't really know what all can happen from a custodian. I feel this pull to make me do something, and so when I prayed, when I called out to the custodian, and I didn't know that she would push them towards you. I had no idea.
I'm not even talking about that. Just
Let's not
saying.
dwell on it.
It's, mum's the word in front of others outside of this group that you got God touch or whatever you call it.
You said
Because they will want to light you on fire.
you said you just gotta go to
Is
sleep.
Witchhammer here?
Oh, the whole Galleon is Witchhammer now.
Oh,
Priests and priestesses and servants of any god are looked upon very ill-fated here.
and like this would sound extremely wild when she says, "But I have been sanctified by the church."
The church is dead. You saw the church.
Its grim shadow lingers beyond the teeth of trees, beyond
I mean, it's
the
like-
weaving of trees and ash.
It's,
I understand your confusion. We're all lost in thought.
yeah,
As I said before, let the past be the past.
things
Look
were
forward.
things were very different where I'm from.
So what happens when you fall asleep?
Oh, yes. The custodian speaks to all of us through dreams, but my dreams sometimes have special importance.
And we're like we're kind of like downriver. Do we see any dwellings? Do we see anything?
Yeah, you can see abandoned homesteads along the sides of the river. Like this, like there's clearly a village that used to be near here, but it's been all but abandoned.
It's pretty dark though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's growing darker and darker by every moment that passes. You see no fires or candlelight or anything in these buildings. This whole place is abandoned.
The custodian also speaks to us through brooks and snakes.
Oh, okay. Should we go and stop over? Should we stop for the night, or should we just book it?
I don't
We don't
know
wanna-
this land very well. There
We don't
could
want to be outside the walls.
There could be beasties and who knows what else out there. Supernatural. Maybe more of those worshippers. I don't know what they were, but the damned.
Did we decide that I would start with something? Because my professional trait allows me to speak to. And what was that you said?
It was a corvid of a sort. The name I forget.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
But the corvid is never near you. It is always nearby. It is not a humble pet.
Right,
It is
right.
It is a wretched carrion picker.
Yeah.
Literally a wretched carrion picker. It is
Yeah.
it is no mere bird.
Yeah. Surely.
I
They're,
kinda-
they're somewhere nearby.
I kind of want her to fall asleep so we can figure out what this dude is gonna tell us.
The custodian.
Yeah.
She will talk to us in her time.
Oh. Okay.
Feel free to be at ease at the bottom of this boat.
Yeah.
Listen to the cadence of the oars cutting through the water.
Are there cicadas? Are there birds?
The cadence.
No, but I'm saying, are there birds? Are there crickets? Or is everything
Like-
dead because of the ash?
Midden is a strange season. This is not your first midden, but it
Right.
is. It's the second midden after the coming of after the end of the Red Death. It seems that the world is kind of in a strange. The seasons are off. You can hear chirping of crickets, the sounds of daybirds, even as the night falls.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it just like
Yeah, it's not barren.
it's utterly creepy no matter what?
Yeah, it's really, I mean, you've grown accustomed to it, obviously, but still, it's like when you stop and think about a word and you say it over and over and over, it begins to lose its meaning. It's the same thing for like when you look at the environment around you. It just doesn't make rational sense when you think about it, but you've grown accustomed to living in it. Imagine if suddenly the sun began rising in the west. So the sun does. It's weird, right? But that's the world we live in now. That's kind of the realization you would have.
Right. And that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
And what you said kind of, it was like, whoa. Did we hear cicadas? Did we hear,
Yeah.
did we hear anything out there?
Who will sleep this evening, and who will remain awake to ply
that-
the river Naxos?
Is that a hint I'm hearing?
Please be at rest.
Have you grown weary of my company?
No, I just know once we arrive, we will be weary, and we'd like someone to watch over us then.
Yeah, that's it.
Very well. So she.
And since you can't do anything with the boat anyway,
What do you mean?
I'll hand her the oar.
Oh, I thought you were being a gentleman.
I enter the
As
door
she-
and
as she
I'll pull my hat over my head and.
As she continues to try and live in her denial, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. She says, "Oh, I thought you were being a gentleman," and she starts to lay down to go to sleep.
So, Monsieur and Laurent, will you be the rower? And all else will rest.
No, I'll stay up with him too.
Espillicent, will you rest or will you stay awake?
I was gonna stay awake.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you fear the dog?
Yeah,
Then I'll go to sleep.
yeah,
Wake me up for the second shift.
yeah. I enjoy, I enjoy just moving. So this is my thing. It's just all of this new stuff happening. So I want to see where we're going.
How long do you think before we arrive?
Probably first light in the morning.
Does anyone feel like they will rest uneasily?
Be resting a lot more easy if you didn't keep talking.
Well, I have something for that.
Oh,
You just keep stacking things against yourself here.
It's your loss, and she rolls over and goes to sleep.
All of you, if you were all, I'm assuming you're all taking shifts to rest. Or you
Yeah.
just stay up all night.
No, we're gonna take shifts.
Mark yourselves to imperiled. It is not easy to sleep on a moving rowboat.
So if we're hindered, we move down.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And by the time that day breaks, and day does break, you find yourselves nearing what looks like just an impossibly high thicket of a palisade with 100 teeth pointing upward toward the sky, pointing outward, pointing down toward you, as the river Noxos actually banks underneath of it. 100 feet up on these tall cliff sides is the teeth. It is the easternmost barrier of Galleon that separates your land, your world where you're from the eastern kingdoms. And the river kind of slowly banks around as you're traveling beneath the cliffside and beneath the teeth, meant to hedge you out of the eastern kingdoms.
The East. Bastards.
The kingdom of the Aridane dwell from beyond. That's all that you know.
How do you know I was one?
What did you say?
You called me a bastard. I'm from the east.
oh.
No. I was calling all of them.
I am an Easterner. I'm from Aglador.
Well, you weren't the one that shut us out.
Alright, you're just not gonna talk when we get back. I know you like to talk here, but they're gonna kill you. You just maybe stay a little quieter unless you, and don't tell anybody that. Don't. Are these guys asleep? Don't even tell them that.
Yeah, I guess it's our shift to be.
Don't tell them what.
Tell them you're from the East.
Is it not obvious from my accent?
I don't know. I don't know what an Eastern accent sounds like. I've never met an Easterner
It sounds
until
like
now.
this.
Whatever. There's a lot of accents in Galleon.
Okay. Well,
Don't tell anybody you're from the East.
If the light is coming from beyond the palisade, you cannot see the rough ash wood that of where they've been carved and hewn and hacked into the like sticky teeth. They just look like a vicious black maw, and from beyond that, yellow light, as dawn has broken beyond in the Eastern Kingdom, has finally deemed to stretch across this miserable, godless land. And right in the shadow of the teeth, where the Noxos River will continue if you choose to follow it, but you have found Bastion in the shadows of the teeth. It is not the castle hold that perhaps you envisioned. It is not even a collection of stone buildings or mud huts. It is 7 sad caravans arranged in a circle. You can hear music coming from around the bonfire. You can see a few shapes walking this way and that. Maybe a stray dog here and there. There's a splash in the river, and then the wretched carrion picker plucks it out with its claws, sailing upward, up, until it disappears into the shadows of the teeth. Pipistrel was the name of your bird.
That right there, that's my emissary. His name's Aloysius.
That old crow?
He's pretty young, actually.
I can't tell the difference.
Only a couple years old.
Crows don't go gray like people do. But it looks pretty big. Full grown.
Anyone see what it picked up?
It plucked a fish out of the water.
Just a fish?
Dinner. Use them too. Breakfast. Could break my fast now. We gotta go see Small though.
The boat kind of comes upon the muddy shore, kind of glunk, 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 making the kind of hollow sound as it comes amid the mud and the cat o' nine tails and reeds and whatnot as you begin to disembark.
I am gonna help me tie the boat up.
She gets out and tries, but it's obvious she's not used to.
This boat is lined up to
Act
flip
like I'm
over.
showing
Yeah.
her how to do it.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody from the east. I mean it.
I had a dream about you. As she is paying attention to what you're doing.
Don't tell anybody about your dreams. Kill you.
I understand.
Okay.
I was told that you were trustworthy. And I will trust you, and I won't say anything.
Just
I noticed they're whispering.
anything else.
You listen
Talk
again.
about your gods.
I'm trying.
You can
Yeah.
do that. You don't need to roll anything.
Yeah. I'm listening in.
Don't.
Very well. I was told that you were trustworthy, but that you have a hard time trusting.
Clovis's words kind of strike at the heart of the matter. Does he know who you are? Does he know where you're from? You see an old man approaching you, an old man with a graying beard walking up on a cane, a fatherly, a patronly looking fellow who begins their approach. Accompanying him is a contingent of 6 former highwaymen, all who came to Bastion just like you did. This man is Civil, the arms master. You all know him. Who will maintain the NPC cards?
I'll keep them.
Okay.
Is there a pencil in there extra? I may need
You'll
to
need
take
it.
some notes.
So, as you meet people in Zweihander, I will hand over a card, and this card is always titled with the person you've met. You may keep your notes beneath it if you choose to do so, but it just serves as an artifact in case you've forgotten somebody's name. Typically, we pass the responsibility around, but since you have chosen Thomas, you have Civil, like civility, Civil, the arms master's card. Welcome back to Bastion, the man says as he's walking up on his cane. You can see he has rough spun wool dangling from his shoulders. Thin as a scarecrow, this one.
Good morning to you. Appreciate your welcome.
I just walk up. I don't say much, but I just kind of like make myself very present
Yeah.
in front of him.
He approaches, and Civil extends his hand immediately to you, Clovis.
Oh, clasping.
Yeah. You know this man very well. He, not only is he the arms master of Bastion, he has taken upon himself to collect a group of thieves and murderers who were collectively called the Highwaymen, who now serve under him to keep Bastion safe. All of them criminals.
Former criminals.
Yeah.
There's no law to break anymore.
Survival's it, right?
Criminal scum, men, women, but no less. They are here along with all of you. Your past is forgotten.
And they're
Your
not
future's uncertain.
they're not unskinned people. They're
Yeah,
that
they
we
are.
see.
They are people who. They are people.
They're people.
That's
People,
right.
people.
The people. Fleshy.
fleshy. They've got the flesh.
Yeah.
four
One
humors
woman
intact.
has ruddy skin. One man's skin is almost the color of olives. Other man, his skin is ashen. Another woman is pale as a sheet.
How many
The
people?
other is dark as pitch.
How many?
There are six of the highwaymen,
Okay.
and then there is Sybil, the arms master.
Okay.
You were successful, I trust.
We were.
Yes.
Good.
We're supposed to see. We need to see Small.
Simon is waiting for you.
We did encounter some damned.
Yeah, there's that.
As you can see, I got a bit scratched up, and you can tell I'm seriously wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're all a little roughed up.
Got some flesh under my nails, or some muscle, I guess it would be actually.
Speak to Alma. She will tend to your wounds.
Be sure to let everyone know that church up the way, upstream, filled with damned. Don't go back.
Unless
There's
we
a
go on
good
force.
30 of them there, I reckoned.
What of the brass paladin?
We heard his horn, but didn't encounter him. Or her.
Aye. We've not heard the tolling of the horn anywhere near Bastion, but Simon believes we should pick up soon and move on.
Yeah.
He says we're not safe here.
With all the treasures gone, I'm sure they'll be looking around for the culprits.
I don't feel comfortable in the shadow of the teeth anyway. You bastard Easterners.
You, Aspillicent, know Alma.
Estrella looks up, just almost longingly, and then remembers herself and looks back at you, and like gets closer to you, but behind you.
Oh, okay. And I noticed that. Okay. I know Alma.
You know Alma. Yes, Aspillicent, you know Alma, the apothecary. She, too, is Siabran. Unlike you, she has discarded her mask.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Interesting. So what we should go see Alma to
That ain't you batched up too.
I don't know though. Okay, so this is just me talking to try to figure stuff out. In my stuff, it says the mask is meant to be worn among outsiders, and it's considered shameful to reveal your face or true name to outsiders.
That's right. Alma does not have a moniker, nor
Yeah.
does she wear a mask.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But if she can fix your wounds, we should go talk to her and I'll suss her out.
I mean, it would be like assimilated, unassimilated, right? You know, that kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe.
you
Yeah.
view yourself as one of the old believers, right? You still hold to your beliefs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Where-
So
same thing here. Same thing with
yeah.
Pipra.
Estrella?
Pipistrella. She holds to her beliefs, right?
Right.
Whereas I've completely lost my view of the gods. I mean, and that could be the situation.
Right.
This person is, the old beliefs don't matter to them anymore, right? The crouching god is dead and left them. Or what are the other gods for the old beliefs? I can't remember. It's
The old
terrible.
believers?
Yeah.
Crouching one?
Crouching one.
I'm still not
Demiurge?
sure of her, but
Demiurge. Those are the
we'll
two.
go
Thank you.
we'll go get fixed by her, but I'm gonna be really, really cautious of her.
You wander amid the caravan, and you can see that there are wagons of various shapes and sizes. Whoever tends to the oxen has let them graze out in the fields nearby. You cannot see him, nor, and you know it is a he, nor can you see the brushwhackers that accompany him. So the ox master is nowhere nearby. But Alma, you can find her. Her rotting old wagon is just on the periphery of Bastion, the collection of caravans you've come to call it. It's just a little bit on the outside. Imagine like, is that show on HBO with Carnival? Yeah. There, her wagon's just on the outside of Bastion. No oxen are tied to it. But on kind of the overhang near where the door is, there are a number of like wood chimes hanging outside that kind of clatter and clack together. You always know where to find Alma's wagon.
All right, let's go get you guys fixed. I'm assuming she's inside.
You don't see her outside, that's right.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the door
Okay.
and rap on the door.
You knock gently, and you all can smell the scent of incense from inside. Come in! You hear kind of a high-pitched voice.
Okay, I'll go in first.
Is this like caravan big enough for everyone to fit in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah. You step inside, and within is this cozy, woo-woo, kind of crunchy woman's caravan, filled with all manner of knickknacks and other
Herbs.
some herbs, some power crystals, some dream catchers. Yeah, she's super woo-woo. No, but
tea brewing right
that's
now.
right. But
Witchy
seriously,
vibes.
yeah, it's a joke. Jokes aside, it's very clear. Like you can see that her the inside of her wagon smells of different herbs. It's actually kind of so pungent that as you kind of pass between those, or hanging from the rafters inside here, they actually kind of some of the smells sting your eyes. She isn't Alma is an apothecary.
Right.
And as you kind of come to where she's standing, it's this kind of, we'll call her smallish by any means, but she's kind of middling height, and she is clearly Siabran. She has the characteristic kind of 3 fingers that all Siabran have. She is wearing these long kind of, not transparent, but these long sarong of a sort, with kind of fiber and such wrapped around her arms. Her fingers move nimbly as she's kind of tying little bits of tine to herbs that she's drying out, where you can see jars nearby. And her skin is black. She has a broad nose. She has these this kind of thick mess of brownish hair that's kind of drawn back underneath like a castanet that seems to almost sparkle in the lamplight that's kind of coming from a single lantern inside here.
I'm gonna go up to her and start speaking our native still sign.
She extends 3 fingers to you, and she does not speak in still sign, but instead says, "We should speak the common tongue here."
Very well. Good morning to you, mademoiselle.
Aye, to you as well. Happy midden.
Happy
Happy
midnight.
midden.
'Tis the season. Find yourselves back here. Then that is good. You succeeded then, May?
We did. We're gonna go to Small after this. We'll just
My
go
my 3 fingers. Sorry.
We are all afflicted by a common malady. Once we left the church, our memories are easy. We something's gotten to us. I don't know what. Do you have anything for us?
She ponders for a moment and she says, I would recommend a sprig of opium for your next rest. Perhaps that will jog the memory or at least dull your senses enough to forget.
Sounds nice. Thank you.
I'll move my shirt aside and see the claw marks. I need this fixed too.
She softly nods her head, and she will bind anyone up who needs it.
Okay.
If anyone is hurt.
Yes. Seriously wounded.
Pipistrella has a moderate injury.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
She will kind of work her standard bind wounds. Anyway, she binds up, moves 2 steps up the damage condition track. So, if you are hurt, your damage condition track will move 2 steps up.
Okay.
As for you, what injury are you suffering from?
Bruised eye socket.
Oh, that's right. She will tend to that.
Fight.
She will tend to that, and then you'll move 1 step up the damage condition track. And she tells you, I think this will probably ail you for another 2 days.
Oh, sweet.
Should anything happen, however, she kind of turns around and pulls from a jar. She kind of unscrews in the light, and she pulls forth. She says, "Take this. It's an equivalent of a tincture. 1 tincture.
Okay.
She's given you one opium. Opium and a drink.
I'm going to take it the next opportunity, so I'm not going to write it down.
Okay.
Can we assume that we can also purchase some reagents from using the main gauge rolls?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
What are you looking to purchase? Providing it's not super unusual, yes.
Jasmine incense.
Oh yeah, that's fine. It's 3 pennies for journalist or petty, 3 shilling for lesser, 3 gold crowns for greater.
Did we start out with money?
Yeah, I don't.
I had 8. Oh wait, no, that's my encumbrance limit. I was erasing my encumbrance limit.
Everyone does start with a little bit of money.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have anything
I will
left.
tell you now. Everyone will start with 35 brass pennies. Do you have a pencil? Do you need one?
We're sharing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I would need one.
We have lots of pencils. How do we not have pencils for everybody? Can we grab Adam or Paige a pencil, please?
You
Here's
said 35 brass.
35 brass pennies. Yeah.
I've been thrown in the middle for.
Sorry. You will all have 12 shilling
Oh,
and 2 gold crowns.
oh well, just kidding.
Wow. A lot more than I thought we would.
But again, is money worth anything?
So, she concludes her practice with, I hear we're going to pull up soon. We're moving on.
It'd be good to get out of the shadow with the teeth. It irks me.
Unnerving, that's for sure, but we'd no other choice a week ago. He had drawn close.
We need to find walls. We need to find walls.
She nods. With that, if there's anything else you wish to have of Alma while you're here,
Bandages?
Yeah, like,
Because
is there any?
I have none of my.
Yeah, is there any stuff that I could buy for next fights? Or
bandages are a shilling each.
Okay.
If you're looking to heal yourself, remember, you can. This is basically if you're not getting your wounds bound by someone with the heal skill, which you can do on yourself too, by the way. Anyone can heal, but you need a bandage to do it, unless you risk infection. Otherwise, you can use. Laudanum, which is 4 gold crowns, the trappings if you will. And that will move you one step up the damage condition track anytime you imbibe it. But it's only usable once, and you can only use one every 24 hours.
Oh no! Oh, I do have laudanum, and I have quicksilver.
Yep.
Okay. I want to get a bandage. How much was that?
1 shilling. Quicksilver is used to inject quicksilver, which allows you to, if you recall, quicksilver allows you to ignore the impact of injuries. I'm so sorry, Adam. You don't have tincture, you have quicksilver.
Oh, okay.
Tincture is for ignoring your drawbacks and disorders. Quicksilver is for ignoring an injury.
Okay.
What's mortissimum salve? I have morticism salve and yellow tabard.
I think Morticism Salve may be a spell, but a yellow tabard.
Yeah, where are your spell cards? Which site?
Yeah.
What's that
But-
other one there?
This is hush.
You should have a brand new spell.
Yeah, the
called
brand new
Morticism
spell
Salve.
would have been like a piece of paper that would have been cut out. Called, and I'm pretty sure that's Morticism Salve.
That's exactly what it is.
No, I haven't.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break. Okay, so we have your Morticism's salve
Yep.
spell to you now.
Yep.
Was there anything else you wanted to do while you're here with Alma the Apothecary?
No, I don't think so. I wish her a good day. And
Yeah.
Yep, same.
She's
Mademoiselle, thank you.
She's a pleasant enough sort.
Can I ask her what
kiss
she did with
hand
her
and
mask?
be gone.
What's that?
Can I ask her what she did with her mask?
You, in character, you can, yes.
Okay.
So just real quick,
Gotcha,
just
gotcha. Okay.
quick pause for a moment. So, just to clarify, so this is just a table rule. It's fine if you want to role play in character, or if you want to role play in third person.
Okay.
Like you could say, my character asked
see
this
what you're
person,
saying.
or you could play as your character. We tend to play as our characters, so both is perfectly acceptable.
Right.
Whatever you feel most comfortable with. And sometimes third person makes the most sense, sometimes first person makes the most sense.
Right.
It's entirely up to you. So,
Okay. So everyone gets their stuff done, and I'm still kind of standing back, and I look at Alma, and I touch my mask, and I point.
she will say,
Can I interject for a second? I feel very uncomfortable about the situation. My character does, and I just stand up and I leave.
okay.
I bid them good day.
She will, in using still signs, she will say, how would you say I left my mask behind? How would I sign that? So,
Lifted.
okay, so she maybe does this, and yeah, she puts her hand over her face and still sign, and kind of her hands pass out from beyond the wall of the caravan, but you know from the way that she is kind of moving her hands that she's pointing toward the teeth.
Okay. Okay. I don't. Yep.
Pipistrella is like still standing there awkwardly, like paying attention,
How
smiling.
how would I sign? We should talk later.
Later.
Later. Okay.
Later.
So she'll
So just later.
yeah. So she'll do this, and then she'll.
Later.
I swear I'm gonna learn bits and pieces of ASL and carry this forward in every game session if I can.
Trying to 3-finger thumbs up.
Three finger thumbs up. That's right. How do you do that with the Ninja Turtle fingers?
Okay. Well, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and just go out.
You come back
Walk past
outside among the caravan, among Bastion. A few people pass by whose faces you don't recognize. Yet, at least. But you know where to find Simon the Small.
Yeah, let's go find Simon.
Yes.
You'll find Simon, you know, to leave his drawings.
You're alright?
Yes, it's just that's something I must wear.
Are you sure?
Oh, it was drilled into me.
Literally or figuratively?
Forgive my use of a phrase, but no, it was not literally drilled into my skull.
Okay. Just clarifying.
It is something I must do, and yeah, she visibly rolls her eyes when she does that.
Okay.
You do know, because some of you grew up in, having read the Holy Canon of Librum. Probably not a Spillicent, because you're still a little bit of an outsider, even to Galleon. But for the three of you, you all grew up reading the Librum, the Holy Librum, and the Decalogue of Tenets, which are the manner of ways of faith. And you also know that, well, from what you heard, because this is the way that things work, that priests used to drill holes in people's heads to let the spirit out when they were trying to cure the Red Death.
Okay.
Barbaric. Anything else you wish to do before you go to visit Simon the Small?
No.
Let's go.
Monsieur Small?
You walk among the caravan, and near the fire, you see a few people talking. They're kind of talking in hushed tones for a moment, and you see a man covered head to toe in bandages. He gives a slight cough, as you can't even see his fingers, as he's completely bandaged up from head to toe. And he's kind of talking to this other. He's talking to Sybil, and Sybil kind of nods, and Sybil, he wraps his cane against the ground, and the highwaymen who are with him kind of perk up, and they begin to kind of spread beyond where your eyes can see beyond the caravan.
Wrapped up.
Simon the Small turns to all of you. You know that this man is a leper.
Okay.
You've come back, he says in a harsh whisper. You can't even see his mouth. Only his eyes are visible beneath the bandages.
Good morning, Simon. I hope this day is treating you well.
Morning has come, and is good enough, I suppose.
You're on the right side of the dirt.
We are, for now. Tell me, you all have succeeded then, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me what you saw.
It was bad. It was very bad.
I reach in and I just pull one calcified stoma out.
Soma. S-O-M-A.
Soma.
Yeah.
Like the drug.
Or the band.
And as they're talking, I reach out and I just hold one up.
He almost instinctively reaches a hand out, even though it's wrapped in bandages. You can't see his fingers. He actually withdraws it as he kind of extends his hand with the fingers out.
Okay, so I put it back in.
You're not gonna let him have it?
I thought he withdrew his hand.
No.
He withdrew one hand that didn't have fingers on it instead of the other.
Oh!
Take it.
It's the high level of drama.
Gotcha. I see.
It's a leper.
So yes, I go ahead and pass off.
They were there then.
3 dozen. At least.
Yeah, we killed 6. Look at her eyes. The least of what we had. It's 6 was enough.
We heard the call of the horn of the brass paladin, but we did not lay eyes on them. Luckily.
As Pillicent kind of gestures some of the visuals she saw.
The damned. They were quieted then. If you have this, that's good. That's good.
Many more are still there. Steer clear of that place.
At least 30.
You all know that the term that they tend to use because the damned are not technically evil. They're just cursed souls.
Just skinless bros.
They don't. The Simon and the people of Bashi have come. They come to call them the damned, and when they are killed, they call them they've been quieted because they no longer are. Their death rattle is no longer heard.
We also all experienced memory loss. It was hard to find our way back out. It was strange. I think Tomas over here, he's the one who explained it best. It started coming back to us piecemeal. As we walked, we were like, oh yeah, we remembered we had a boat. So we get outside. We didn't know how we'd gotten there, what we were doing. We knew we were there for a purpose, though. And the horn changed everything and made us make quick decisions.
Oh, very perplexing.
We haven't recalled everything, but I do remember a friendly face.
You can't quite see his mouth.
Or
but
eyes.
You can
Friendly
you can
eyes.
see you can see though Simon the Small is clearly someone who is probably in a lot of pain and ever constantly. He tends to emote with his eyes. So I'm going to emote with my mouth and gesticulate, but we can pretend that it's his eyes that are kind of emoting. So when I smile, you can tell his eyes are smiling. Is what I'm saying.
Is it still snowing in this area?
It is not here, no.
Okay, so Espelson is gonna kind of discuss the snow, the ash, and say that there is a lot of ash and
He himself will speak in still sign to you, and he will gesticulate saying that midden has come.
okay.
Yeah, and he'll say midden has come. I'm assuming this is snow.
Snow.
He'll say, how would you say fire?
Fire.
So he says midden has come.
Ah, okay.
It's the season of ash. It's the season of ash, he says for everyone else's edification.
I believe Pipistrella. I'm gonna get everybody's name. You know, always takes me 3 sessions. Just does. Pipistrella. These two. They read the Winter Red and Rend. They read the pillows. It seems to be. You might want to explain it. I think that's the Paladin's church, like real church, like, right? You were kind of explaining what you saw.
That's what it appears.
He was.
Your chipper mood turns sour and
He was a farmer that became the Paladin.
Yeah, I kind of encourage Pipistrella to explain what she saw on the pillars.
Okay.
apparently the paladin was once of the common stock, and had some feats of heroism, and then became the paladin. Never married. He thought it was his duty to serve his country. And it seems like she's straying just a little bit from what was written, but she's still telling the story.
This country. Alright.
So this horn we've heard, the pursuit, the long nights and long roads. We've been pursued by an Easterner.
Yes. He is definitely an Easterner. And it would strike everyone here as odd as how she would say that so, like...
Confidently.
I didn't see any of that, so, but...
I don't know my
and then
letters.
she says,
Just trust her.
I believe,
That's, yeah.
I believe you have a tabard.
I do have a tabard.
It is a
I don't know
it's
what-
cloth worn over the shoulder to express what
Fealty.
lord you pledge fealty to.
Yeah, it's a massive rectangle with a hole in it, and goes over your shoulders, and then
Ties the waist.
the belt you normally wear
Okay,
gives
so I have it in
gives
my
some
bag.
definition.
I have it in my bag.
It's tattered and blood covered and spattered, and it's been frayed. Obviously, it's not in perfect condition,
Oh,
but it is.
Is that what I got off the dude in the
That's right.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay, it's coming back.
It was 2 weeks ago. 3.
Right.
It has been a
3
minute.
weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, because we had to take a break.
I also have a terrible memory, and I forgot my book at home. Okay. So I go ahead and I'm gonna take out the yellow tabard and pass it to you.
Yeah. He gesticulates for you to hold it in front of him as he's kind of narrowing his eyes and widening them.
It's the Claviger family.
Now we know who he is.
Clavengers. Oh, spit on the ground.
Why would the paladin be among the damned?
I don't know.
We knew he was a keeper of the sacred remnants.
Maybe he's of the damned.
A terrible fate for all of us to face.
Maybe he's still living out his. Yeah, it's weird. You've seen them, right?
We've only seen them.
They have that. What is it? It seems like the last thought in their brain is all they can rap upon.
Oh, the death rattle.
That's
Perhaps
right.
the paladin's one of them, underneath all that brassy armor, blowing his horn.
But he has pursued us for weeks. He is not like the other husks we have seen
He is not.
wandering in their death march of the land. There is a canniness to him, a cleverness.
Thanks for the reminder.
Well,
I didn't recall.
remember that one room? They were still battling and praying and worshipping the altars. Frozen.
The days of the covenant still was here.
Praying for the souls, I guess.
I don't know if you recall, but on our way here, we saw our torchbearer in the field, and with him, the death march of the husks. His arm rigid over his head with the burning flame to lead the damned on their ceaseless march. We first thought that was the brass paladin, but nay, it was one of the damned. But the torchbearers seem to have some sort of connection to the brass paladin. I don't know what it is yet.
Well,
I will have to pray upon this, he says. As he lowers his head, you notice that he wears a garland of silver around the crown of his head over the bandages.
Pipistrella immediately lowers her head.
Yeah. Seems right.
No less. We came what we got for, at least at the moments we had. I think we need to leave, though. I think this will certainly provoke his ire, and it's exactly what we wanted. We will leave part of the caravan here in our wake, and we will depart with a few. Sybil knows the risks.
So who among these number will go with us?
Let's see. Alma, Gretel, Beatrix, Harlan, and Stoll. Sybil and Hyman will remain behind. We will lead the van. You know, as he says this, that he is likely leaving Sybil and Hyman to the fate of death. This does not settle well with any of you.
Why would we all go?
We must split the caravan We have agreed, once the time is right, that we will reassemble a village called Poil. It's a week or so out.
Other walls.
That is the hope. That is always the hope. We have thus far been unsuccessful. It seems where there are walls, remnants of the Mercaders dwell, and always among those Mercaders are the damned.
I fear if we split, one half won't make it.
Not our decision to make who stays and goes. I'm sure all who stay have thought long and hard on it. Perhaps they feel
Are they staying to try and lure that creature in? I won't call him a man.
They will stay to draw. They will stay to draw the brass paladin off our trail. We can at least make some headway.
perhaps they feel it brings them some sort of absolution for the life they lived before the Red Death.
We've all been forgiven of our past.
That may be, but the deeds of your past sometimes weigh heavy on your mind. That's why I see our malady somewhat of a blessing.
Look around. Whatever's happened, whatever you did in your past life, you lived through the Red Death. You've paid your penance. That's what we've all agreed to.
I'm not saying I disagree with you, but
This is hell.
every person carries their own weight, their own burden. It isn't always easy enough to just lay on the wayside. Not everyone can do that.
Everyone here has lost everything.
Yes.
That's enough. They have been assaulted.
Hey, I don't hold it against them. They were murderers before, but now they're friends.
Would you stay behind then? Simon inquires.
If you wish us.
You know the ways of Bastion. We are a collective. We are all our own people, but we have agreed that survival is the most important thing, the survival of the collective.
I hate to say it, but I have a selfish desire to extend my own life. I'm scared.
As you should be. Simon kind of says, kind of almost guffawing, and not in a judgmental way, but we have worked long and hard to get this far. We have left some in our wake. We've had not the time to bury the dead.
It seems
We've seen friends and loved ones pass.
like we should bring these remnants with us too. It would be a shame for the paladin to recollect them.
You shouldn't fear death. I don't fear death, but I do fear dying.
Something to think on.
'Tis the pain that they say is the worst. To come to the warm embrace of the custodian, that is a sweetness, relief, once the pain is all over. But are we all not in pain here? Maybe our pain is just more endurous and long. I don't know. So Simon, he goes on. It is your choice on what you wish to do. The chances of civil and highwaymen living will increase.
Do you know of these remnants that we took?
I only know of the ensconcement ritual. I know the value that they once held to the Covenant. I know that they are some of many. I also know that the Covenant entrusted them to the Paladin for a reason. And now they are no longer his.
As we travel together, I think you should know of their use. Should you show him the grave digger spade that I recovered and tell him of its uses.
Yes, I recall reading that in this book. He motions to wherever his books would be, perhaps in a nearby caravan. I have studied long and hard, as is our way, at least before the Red Death. Our order were dedicated to the pursuit of learning, to education. That's why we know these sacred remnants exist.
If the gods would forsake us in these lands, then we should claim our inheritance.
Indeed. There are no gods in Galleon but death herself. No less.
I'll show him the egg.
Flamberger.
He nods.
Well, should we stay and help? We were supposed to do this part. They were supposed to do theirs. But if we can save men...
I've already mentioned how I feel.
Lives.
I'm moving on.
Lives are at stake either way, he says, placing a kind of a stump on, or a bandage stump over onto Tomad's shoulder. Whatever decision you come to, you must make it quick. We will depart and, well, at the time the sun rises over the teeth, then it will be time for us to leave. I don't mean to rush you, but it's only a matter of time till we hear the horns of the paladin. Once he comes back to the temple and discovers the remnants are gone, he will know where to come. Think on it for a while. Come to my wagon when you're ready. Simon will cough, and he and his bandaged body kind of walks mostly stalwart. You know that leprosy has not taken him completely, but he has a malady that persists.
Clovis, I'd hate to lose your company in the days to come. Will you stay with me?
So you all have a choice in front of you. At least there seems two clear paths. The first,
leave men behind.
the first is to say.
Two of us.
Sorry, just a quick point of clarification. So the choice is really this: it's will you stay with Civil, the armsman, and his cadre of 6 highwaymen to divert the brass paladin's attention away from the main caravan, or will you go with the main caravan ahead? Either way, the intention is to eventually reconvene in a village called Poil. That's all you know.
I'm down to stay and help these two get back to the caravan. Eventually.
Estrella, your thoughts?
I would like to have words with the paladin, but it doesn't have to be soon.
Do we leave the caravan unprotected if we stay?
Not necessarily. Among the caravan, you know of others who are capable. In fact, anyone who's part of Bastion must be capable. You have no other choice.
Right.
No one here.
We've all fought to get to this point, basically.
Yes, that's right. You know that one man in particular, Stahl the Kettlesmith, is a fiery-tempered fellow who is who has been training underneath Civil for some time. Harlan the Oxen Master, he and the Brushwhackers are all trained as well, young. Gretel is an archer. She's also the Fletcher for Bastion. Beatrix is an acolyte of Simon the Small. and you know Simon the Small is intimately familiar with the higher mysteries.
So is he a learner?
He is an Allure Knight, yes. He uses the magics.
I mean, the crown, I mean. I don't...
Well,
We've lost so many. It's just hard to see them left to slaughter.
perhaps I'll remain with you then. I wouldn't want to split our group up. It doesn't seem right flying in the face of danger, but a new life, I guess I will have to learn some bravery while I'm at it.
As long as the caravan is protected, that is our job. That's what we got these items for.
I mean, he's after the items, so
I guess they wouldn't go after the caravan once he slaughters us then.
right. And it will ensure their safety if that's what you're concerned for.
Would be my concern. And it's not like that. Maybe we do make it. I've seen enough die without support. I would like to stay.
All right then. So it shall be. You'll have your words.
So you wish to remain behind with Sybil and the others to draw away the paladin from the main caravan. A good choice. But all choices have consequences. You all gain 3 corruption.
I figured that.
We will bring our session to a close.
Oh,
Well.
So, with that being said, because it is the end, cue up the synthwave music. Okay.
corruption, so
yeah.
don't forget.
Get to roll a corruption roll tonight. So I'm gonna roll 1d10. What happens if I roll your number or below?
We gain
Yeah,
chaos.
Chaos. That's right. I rolled 7.
No.
So
No.
you may erase your corruption, set it to 0, and you all gain 1 order rank.
Okay, wait.
Yep.
Help.
Yeah, so-
I'm at 0.
Well, you should have gotten 3 at the end, but you know he rolled a 7, which is above 3. So
That's why I nicked any rank step.
yeah,
Yeah.
So you can
So
just
you're gonna
keep
roll
it
in
0
5
for
seconds.
now,
Erase it.
Okay.
and
Here in a second.
you gain 1 order rank.
So do I leave the corruption at 4 and
Oh
one
no,
at
corruption is this number here in the center.
It's a temporary value that's
Oh.
acquired every game session.
That's where I messed up. Okay, because I was at
Were you at 1?
1,
Yeah,
and then so that would have gone to 3.
yeah, and then after it's tested at the end of the night, it goes back to 0. So he rolled a 7, which the corruption didn't affect it at all, meaning you get an order rank.
Okay, so do I keep this here and get
Yep.
this
Yes.
here?
It's a tug of war. You'll see both will grow at the
Okay.
same time. So let's talk about this session. Let's start first this time with Pipistrella.
Pipistrella is remembering some of her history, and some of the reasons that she came to Galleon are facing her immediately. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into or not.
Save
Yeah.
hold on to that.
And so she is looking for answers, and it looks like some of these answers may come about sooner rather than later. She's struggling very hard to deal with everybody who's grown up and survived in such a harsh environment that the simple pleasures of conversation, everything like that is lost on all of them, and she can't really connect with them, and in fact her attempts to connect seem to be backfiring. So she's paying attention to that. and that will be an opportunity for growth for her.
That's good. What about Toa?
So Tama is trying to take advantage of this chance at a new beginning. In his past, he was a bailiff, so not very popular, and kind of using every chance he could get to kind of erase his past, where everyone kind of disliked him and all these sorts of things. So typically, his temperament is a bit more sanguine. So he's trying to slow down and be very better listener and try to take heed of what people are saying and show a bit more respect than what he did in the past.
So more purposeful then?
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting change of, it's a paradox shift for you, a paradigm shift for you, because typically you play very, I wouldn't say rash, but characters that
You
are
can
like
say rash.
You say rash.
yeah, more ego than id, right? More driven by the immediate as opposed to the impact in the long term. So it's an interesting juxtaposition from where your characters typically are. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I like to challenge myself.
Yeah. What about Clovis?
I think he's feeling that after the first day and the cathedral and everything, he's feeling. Unfortunately, he has to lean into his past.
Yeah.
And remember that not everybody can do everything that he's lived through. So that protective side is kind of bubbling to the surface, even though he was used to being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You can't survive the Red Death without it, right? So survival has been his only purpose for so long. Now he's saying, "Oh wait, we've got to keep this collective together, or that everything fails."
Yeah. What about a Spindleton?
I still don't know, but I'm still figuring this individual out. I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
I'm really skeptical. Like the mask I have on is my mask of fear, anyways, and so I'm kind of picking apart people's intentions, and so I'm a little reserved.
Is that possible that mask is not just a physically our projection of perhaps your fear, but also perhaps a reflection also of your own self?
Right. So, yeah, I think so, because as of right now, I don't know. I'm around, you guys are all human, right? And I'm just kind of in this fog of not knowing what's going on, not sure of anything, so I'm kind of, I'm skeptical and fearful of what's going to happen.
What made you want to stay and confront the paladin? If you're so fearful.
Well, I really liked ripping the head off that other guy, so like.
So here's my challenge for you.
Okay.
You liked that, or your character liked
My
that?
character loved it.
Okay.
My character I need copies of all this to take home because I keep reading all over it. So it says here, you're a force of nature with a tendency towards stormy mood and intense actions. So my character tends to be driven on like emotions in the moment, and so in that moment with the damned, and I identify with this one specifically. So like
Owl guy.
yeah, the one
Alley
that's
person.
crouching.
Yeah.
I like the crouch concept, and then so when I discovered that the character like jumped up and went on that emotion and that action, that intense action was just like, and it just kind of made him fire up, and felt good.
Okay, that's good.
Felt good.
Yeah, so I would say kind of our homework jointly is to think about how we kind of begin to contextualize our order and chaos alignments. This is obviously on our second session, and I've said this before, and this is very true. We're still trying to feel out who we're playing.
and
there's-
I'm the most clueless on what's happening.
And that's
at
perfect.
all.
It's perfect because the wonderful thing about this game in particular is that everything is going to feel very foreign and strange to even people who played in my games normally.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in the same boat as them.
Okay.
I'm not talking about, because there's no story you can read to bring yourself up to speed.
Right.
I'm talking, because it's less important to know about the world, it's more important to know about the character. So I think maybe we should collectively think about, as time kind of progresses, like, do these alignments properly represent who we're playing at the table? And if they don't, we can adjust them very easily. So, food for thought. Nothing we need to solve today, but food for thought.
That's a good thing to think about because
You mean like deceit and heroism
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
and me?
yeah. Because your alignments, the best way to think about it is like your order alignment is in the best of situations, people know you to be like this. In your worst situations, they know you by your chaos alignment.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
It's not
I
like
could
these
s-
are
well-
like the only ways that you can act or think or feel,
right.
but
Right.
like
Yeah.
these are the kind of ways that your
Tendency.
character is ended or bold.
Right.
Yeah.
So Nick actually gave me a great idea when we created the characters. I was like, okay, how do I play tyranny? And it was like, well, you always have something to say, and it isn't always the best thing to say. And so I took that to heart with this character. I was like, oh, okay,
Right.
because yeah, she's always weighing in on things, and
Whereas like you jumped in when Alma was talking about and like was watching, and I
Uh-huh.
respectfully
yeah,
made my exit.
So if you think about your alignments as tendency, right? Tendency in stressful situations, not I act this way always, because a character is not pulled by two strangers out of nothing.
Sure.
But what you could think about is that as your order ranks grow and your chaos ranks grow, you may make the decision to lean into whoever has the highest value, because that specific chaos order rank track that starts with corruption in the center, that's a temporary value, it radiates outward and it terminates with your order and chaos alignments. And of course, you go on the track. What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to represent a scale.
Right.
Sometimes that scale is even. Sometimes it's more heavily weighted toward your chaos alignment, or more heavily weighted to your order alignment. So you may think about, as you begin a game session, like looking at those things, and there's nothing wrong with taking a beat and thinking about how you want to react. Because I think what will be good is to get you away from the Ciabra on paper and
Right.
about Espillicent, the character, as you
Right.
choose to portray them. Because what's on paper is not necessarily how your character has to be. Just like you
Right.
saw tonight with Alma. Alma does not fit the profile of what you find with
Right.
the Ciabra. But once again, I'm not picking on you by any means. I'm talking
No,
about,
no, no,
I'm talking
I
about all of
just-
us in general.
Yeah.
Let's think about our alignments, because we can make adjustments. There's no reason we couldn't.
Well, see, and that kind of explaining how that works has me thinking about other
Yeah.
parts of her as well, or
Yeah.
them.
It's, admittedly, it's tough to learn a new game, a new group of people, figure out your character, and we're only playing every other week.
Yeah.
It's difficult. That's why we used to play weekly, because we could get that kind of like that beat down, that story beat. It was like boom, boom, boom. Here's how our characters act. Here's how we know each other. So this is going to be a little more challenging for us, but I think it's a good challenge because once again, you are in the same boat as all of them. All this is strange and new and different.
Yeah.
That's the way I've kind of written up the framework of this. Where it goes is entirely up to you all, though. And tonight you made a pretty critical decision. You're going to stay here and stay behind with the caravan and leave Simon the Small and the others on their own. And that probably is going to result in some sort of conflict next session. So let's wrap up. Thanks for playing.
Hey there, viewers. If you like what you're seeing, take the next step. Head on over to our Patreon, where we create content for Zweihander and other games. Just go to grimandperilous.com and click on the Patreon button. Thanks.